Hi everyone, I'm here to show how I do gold leaf over a photogravure print with a Japanese paper. Here you can see the image I'm going to use, the plate I'm going to use. It's a photo of my daughter who was born 11 months ago. The paper I am using is a Japanese paper that I will put in the description. The first thing I'm doing is taking a piece of the Japanese paper that's slightly dampened and then spraying it wet with a mister while it's over the plate itself. At this point, I'm not applying any glue because this will not be glued to a sheet of paper just yet, of watercolor paper or printing paper. And so what I'm doing right now is just trying to remove as much of the wrinkles as possible. Just picking, it really sticks to the plate, so I'm just picking it up and pulling it tight to kind of help remove some of the wrinkles. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect because the process of rolling it through the press will take care of most of that. Now I'm placing my printmaking paper over it. And I also use a thicker sheet as well of like a board to help make it smooth. And here I very carefully removed the Japanese paper from the plate itself. And this is the result of the print by itself. The next step is I'm taking it over to the light box and I'm flipping it over on the reverse side where I've also let this sit for about a week. To really make sure that the ink is dry because the gold will stick to any of the ink that is not dry and also will create marks when you try to put the gold leaf on and kind of rub the gold leaf in. It might mess up the underlying image, so make sure that the image is completely dry. I just taped it down and created just a quick little mask because as you will see, the bits of gold leaf can get everywhere, and I'm trying to minimize the amount of gold leaf I get in other areas of the print. So I'm just quickly masking it to prevent any stray gold leaf getting in areas I don't want. What I'm using and what I just showed there is called Aqua Size. I'll again put the name of the brand in the description of the video. And now with the help of the light box, I can go in and paint in the sizing of the area where I want the gold leaf to stick. So the idea is that wherever you want the gold leaf to stick, you paint in the sizing. Wherever you don't want it to stick, there will be no sizing. And so that's how you can selectively add the gold leaf on. Now, after I apply the gold leaf, I wait approximately 30 minutes for it to get tacky. And here I am breaking out the gold leaf. I believe it's called patent gold leaf is the type of gold leaf you want. It's a 24 karat gold leaf. You can buy this from Amazon or most art stores. Good art stores will have this. And so the reason you use the patent over the loose is that the patent is stuck to the tissue paper, whereas the loose sheet of gold is very, very thin and delicate and can even just blow away and you would lose a whole sheet. So here I'm just using, the nice part about the patent is wherever I rub is wherever the sizing is, that's where it will stick. And I don't have to worry about it blowing away. And I can keep putting it down, touch up little spots. This process is a process that goes back and forth many times. I'll put down gold leaf, pull it off, look to see where there might be spots I've missed, and keep putting it down, touching up, putting a little more sizing down, and keep touching it up. Here I'm just using my fingers or a bone folder to kind of work it in. The other thing I use on the right there is a badger hair brush. You can use any brush really, just a nice soft brush, one that's not very hard. And I use this, and you'll see later, to kind of remove any excess gold floating around the image. I'm also showing this video at double speed because if I did it in real time, it would be a very, very long video. So I've sped this up a bit. I don't work this fast. And again, I'm just kind of pushing it in with the bone folder, and I'll go over it a few times until I have everything covered that I want covered. I originally tried doing this with cyanotype instead of a photogravure, but I didn't get a paper and a bluish color that I liked that was also transparent for the gold leaf that I liked. And you can use every little bit of the gold leaf from the paper. And here I am just kind of brushing off the excess gold. And just try to be careful because it does get everywhere. And again, here I am just working more of the gold leaf into the image and touching it up here and there with a little bit more sizing where it's needed. If I were to cover the entire image with sizing and not selectively, it would be much easier. Just use a roller or a large brush. You could border it down a little bit even and just kind of roll it on. And it would be much easier to apply if you're covering the entire image, but the idea is to show how to do it selectively and not the entire image. So the next step is to take the sheet of Japanese paper and spray it on both sides with a Krylon Kamar varnish, spray varnish on both sides of the paper. So you spray one side, let it dry, spray the other side, let it dry, and I do about 2 coats on each side. And I'm not going to show the spraying here, but you'll see the results in a minute. And again, just removing any stray gold dust. Now I'm not worried about the edges so much here because this will be trimmed right to the image size itself. And so here you can see it's kind of dull and hard to tell until you spray it with the varnish, and then that's where the magic kind of happens and where you see the detail of the image and the detail of the gold kind of shine through. So here you can see you've kind of lost some of the details of the flower around the head. But now that it's sprayed in this part here, you can see how it's come back due to the spraying. And so what I'm doing now is tacking some Fusion 4000, which is a reversible dry mount tissue. It's considered an archival tissue. So I'm basically dry mounting that to the image to the tissue so that when I can then trim both at the same time and I don't have excess on my paper when I go to dry mount it later. We're going to dry mount this onto a sheet of Hanamalua copperplate paper, the bright white, or I'm sorry, an off-white. And here I am just trimming both the film and the dry mount tissue and the edges of the image itself. Okay, and now you'll see, now here I am tacking it onto the watercolor paper. I've roughly kind of marked out where it should be. And so now it's ready for the dry mount press. And after about, I believe it's 6 minutes in the press, this is the final image. It has a nice kind of velvety feel to it, very kind of soft and luxurious kind of look to the image. That's it, and thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thanks.